Okay, and welcome back to another video. This is my weekly Stitch with Me, Stitch and Chat. My name's Emily, and this is my YouTube channel, which you've obviously found, The Simple Stitcher. I've just started working on this blue border of my Mushroom Fern Mandala by Chatelaine. This silk is just gorgeous. I love these silks. So the brand of the silks is called Needlepoint Ink Silk. So it's Needlepoint Ink silks, and they are the most divine silks. They're so soft and beautiful to stitch with. Like, I've got other ones that, other silks that I've had and used, and they are nothing compared to these. These are beautiful, these Needlepoint Ink silks. Yeah, I was just thinking before how beautiful they are to stitch with, because I just got this little bit started here. So today is Wednesday. It's about, when I sat down, it was about 8:15, but about 8 o'clock, but I got myself settled and set up, so it's probably close to about 8:15 now. We've got home from work, had dinner, and I've sat down to do my little stitch and chat. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. My weekly stitching update went up today. It was a little later than planned, simply because life got in the way and we had Father's Day and a really busy weekend, and I just didn't get time to record it. So that went up today. This one will go up Friday. And so I just wanted to pop on, do this and do a little update. So as you know, if you watched my last update, we took Ranji to the vet on Saturday, and spent quite a bit of time at the vet getting him a really thorough checkup. And the vet rang me last night. So because we were there for so long, the vet was able to test a lot of the results. And at the time, she said to us that they were all looking good. She rang me last night when I was on the way home on the train, and I couldn't end up talking to her because the train power lines in the buildings and stuff were all interfering with the signal. So I couldn't talk to her, but we had enough of a conversation for her to tell me that the results were all perfectly normal. So that was really great. But she wanted to know when we were sending in the wee test, the urine sample. And then I rang back. I tried to call her back later. So she called me like 5 to 5 or something. And I tried to call her back at like 25 past 5. No, I got Craig to call her back at 25 past 5 when my phone was working a little bit better. And she'd already left. So, and then she's not in until Friday. So when Craig called back, the vet nurse said, oh, she's left for the day. So she called at like 5 to 5 and she was leaving at 5. And I'm like, bloody hell, like, calling to give, like, she's a really, really good vet, this lady. She's brilliant. But calling to give someone results for tests right when you're about to leave and then not be in for another 4 days, I'm like, come on, you can do better than that. I mean, maybe she was like super busy for the whole day or didn't get the results and so, didn't get a chance to call and that. But I was like, man. So I called this morning, and when I called this morning, she wasn't in. But the vet nurse was very good that I spoke to, and she said, no, the results are all normal. And I said, because we were supposed to drop in the urine sample this morning, but we set Ranji up in the office, which has got a toilet and that off there, with a bed and his food and water and the litter tray with these special non-absorbent plastic granules. They're basically just plastic balls. So they feel like they're scratching in litter to do their business, but they're not actually, they don't absorb any of the urine or contaminate it. So we set him up last night, put him in there, but because it's not his normal litter, when I got up to check this morning, when I checked on him before I went, he hadn't gone. And I gave him a little bit of food and whatever, hoping that if he had a little bit of breakfast, then he might go to the toilet. But then when Craig got up, he rang me and he said, no, he hadn't gone to the toilet. So I don't think he's going to go in these plastic bead things that the vet's given us that allow you to collect the urine. So we're probably going to have to, he's probably going to have a needle to get the sample, which I didn't want that. Like, that's pretty invasive and it's not, like, very pleasant. So I didn't want him to have to do that, but it's looking that it's going to be likely. He doesn't have to go back for 2 weeks. The vet wants him to go back in 2 weeks for a checkup. And then the veterinary nurse said, don't stress about the urine sample. Like, we can keep trying until we take him back. And then if we get it, great, we just drop it in. And if we don't, well, then that's fine. We'll work something else out. So we'll keep trying. And hopefully, I can get him to use the litter tray without having to go the alternative. And what I'm thinking is if I keep putting him in there on the nights where the next day Craig can take the sample to the vet, maybe he'll get used to it and then he'll go. But we'll see what happens. I can only keep trying. So that's Ranji. And then because it's looking like it's diet related that he keeps being sick, like it's his stomach, I've got to pick up another dried food for him on the weekend. But it was a little bit disturbing when the veterinary nurse said, oh, how many cats have you got? And I said, well, I've got 2 others here. And she said, okay, can you feed him separately? And I'm like, yeah, we can make sure he only eats his food, because she said this sensitive dried food is super expensive and you don't want to be feeding it to all the cats. And I'm like, man, but he's worth it. Like, I'd absolutely, regardless, just buy him the food that he needs so that he feels better. And he has been eating, we've taken him pretty much completely off the dry food, and he's just having the Royal Canin wet food sachets. And he's a lot better. His diet's picked up. He's eating his whole bowl of food. Not his diet, his appetite's picked up. He's eating his whole bowl of food. And he just seems to be doing a lot better. So the dry food definitely wasn't agreeing with him, I think, and that's why he was being sick. So we'll try him on this other one. And then if this other one's no good, well, then he's just going to be on wet food and he's not really going to get very much dried food because it just doesn't agree with him. So that's Ranji. And then the other thing which was very exciting that happened was that I checked my seedlings yesterday. I'm just going to finish this thread. Oops, I'm going to bump that. Where are my scissors? Couldn't find my scissors. So what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. This is the thread. You see that? No, you can't. There. It's so silky. It's gorgeous. Oh yeah, so the exciting bit of news was that I looked at my seeds that I started yesterday, about not this weekend, just gone the weekend before. And I was very excited to see that, because they said that seeds germinate within about 2 weeks. And I was worried that I'd overwatered my seeds when I started them, because I didn't know. Like, I'm just, I'm new at all this. And it was very wet. So I took the lid off for a couple of days off the little, like, inside greenhouse that I've got for them to sort of get them to dry out a little bit. I was very excited to see yesterday that 2 of my sunflowers have sprouted. So one of the dwarfs and one of the larger, taller, plain gold sunflowers have sprouted. So I was very excited about that. So I'm hoping that that's the start. And now all the other flowers and vegetables that are in there are going to start sprouting. So we'll see. But yeah, that was really cool because I was a bit worried. I thought I could have buggered the whole thing up. So my plan with the sunflowers is with the dwarf one. So I've got a big long driveway because we're a unit where there's 2 townhouses, separate standalone townhouses on our block, and we've got the back townhouse. So the front townhouse sits on the front sort of portion of the block, and then down beside their townhouse, and then to our sort of, so to speak, front is the big long driveway to our property, which goes sort of half the block. So along that block, I've got grasses which the builder planted coming up with space in between. And last spring I planted pansies and violets, and they were lovely in between the gaps, and it was really nice to have that bright colour. This year I'm planning on planting these sunflowers that I'm germinating. So I'm planning on starting, so if the dwarf daisies take, because the dwarf daisies are, I'm just going to bump this again. Dwarf daisies are 25 centimetres by 25 centimetres, and they'll fit, oh shit. I just cut that off. I'm too busy talking. God damn it. I just cut that off without ending it. Fuck. I'll just stitch over the top of it. Should anchor it. So I'm planning on planting, what I'm thinking is I'm going to start the rest of the dwarf sunflowers because they've come up, and I'm going to plant them in the gaps between the grasses along the driveway, and I think they're going to look so pretty because, like, 25 centimetres by 25 centimetres isn't too big. It's not going to get in the way of the cars going up and down the driveway. Can you see that? Yep. And they'll be beautiful and bright, and like little bright happy sunflowers all along the driveway. So I'm just going to go over this one again. Oh yeah, that's just popped out. Bugger. Okay. Okay. Just have to fix yeah, so I'm going to oh God. Hang on, let me pause for a second. Okay, that was hard work, but I got that anchored in. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to put, so my plan is, because the dwarf one came out, this weekend I'm going to start the rest of the dwarf seeds. And hopefully they will take. And then when they're big enough, I'm going to plant them all down the driveway. And I think they'll look super pretty. And then the rest of the ones, so I don't have my garden beds done yet because the weather hasn't been the best. And before I do any garden beds, I need to gypsum the backyard, because even though we're on the beach, we've got a lot of clay at our block. So you'd expect more sand, lots of sand, like my beach house, which is like 5 blocks away. But here, because it's further, I don't know if it's further inland or because it's a new built house or what it is, we've got a lot of clay. So I need to gypsum the soil, start breaking up the clay, and then get the beds ready before I start planting anything. Because otherwise, like, clay's really, clay imbalance is like provides really nourishing, nutritious soil for plants. But obviously too much clay means no water drains away and the plants get soggy feet, and lots of plants don't do well in heavy clay soil. So if I want to have a successful garden, because I'm starting from scratch, it's like really worthwhile for me to take the time and set up the beds properly. So maybe this weekend I'll have time. I'll be able to get out. Depends on the weather. But hopefully I'll be able to get out this weekend and start the soil and the garden beds off. And then by the time, in a couple of weeks, when they're sort of a bit better, then I'll be in a position, I'll have some garden beds where I can start to plant all these seeds and the sunflowers and that sort of thing that I'm germinating. But I'm definitely going to do another tray of seedlings. I just want to see how the ones I've started go. So I'll definitely do the 2 lots of sunflowers first that have taken and coped, and then I want to see how the other ones go if they come up. or if they don't, because then if they don't come up, then there's something, I've done something wrong with those ones and I have to do something else. And I don't want to waste a whole lot of seeds like repeating the same process if they're not gonna cope. And then on the weekend when we went to Van Loon's for a snack, I also bought a chili plant seeds, so more seeds. I bought chilies, I bought basil, and then I bought this adorable white poppy with black centre, but that's not till, so I'm not going to start germinating those until like summer, because they say summer, autumn for planting those seeds. So they're much, much later. So I won't start doing those until then. And then that's it. So I will try and add a photo after this video of my germinating seeds so you can all see them and check them out. And then this weekend, so this weekend's a quiet weekend. I've got dinner with friends in the city on Friday night, so we'll do that. And then Saturday and Sunday this week are just going to be quiet, pottering around the house days, doing stuff here, doing some stitching. I really want to work on my Chatelaine, do a tutorial, and I'd like to finish the Just Nan that I started, rip out the stitches that I mucked up and then restart that, finish that, because they don't take very long. So if I sit down and I spend a couple of hours doing that, I'll get that done. I'll get the stitching done. So I'm hoping to finish that. Because I've got some plans for that. And then now let me, so by the time I do all that, we don't have anyone coming down, we're not going anywhere, so hopefully it'll be a really good crafting weekend. I'll get stuff done around the house and I'll get some time to rest, because I've been pretty tired the last few days. I've been doing a lot of energy clearing and healing, so I'm really big on energy work and trying to make sure my energy's clear of other people's energies, and I've been cutting cords and doing light language stuff. So I feel like I need some downtime and some extra sleep, because all that gets it does get tiring when you're processing a lot of energy and clearing out old energy blocks and doing all that sort of thing. So hopefully I'll get some rest, and that's it. So thank you for watching another one of my videos. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below and I will answer them as soon as I can. Don't forget, if you want a chance to be comment of the week, leave a comment. And I hope you're having an amazing week. For most people, it's the week now, the business week, or, you know, not the weekend. So most people are back at work. Everyone's back at work. Australia's generally a little bit ahead. So, you know, if it's Monday here, it's still the weekend for a lot of people. But today's Wednesday, so I'm fairly sure that most of you will be in weekend mode, in weekday mode. So I hope your week's going well. I hope work's going well, or whatever you're doing is all good. And I will see you. I'll see you for my next video. Okay, have an amazing night. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.